My name is Linda, and this is another week of Try Something New Tuesday. I highlight several Black-owned businesses in the Triangle, and I enlist my friend Jeff. First up, I visited a produce stand in Durham called Perkins Orchard. And I've never heard of this place before, but I've learned from my friend Arturo, who you saw last week, that they have Mexican style popsicles. So I met him there. Unfortunately, they didn't have popsicles. They ran out that evening, but we went and got produce anyway. This strawberry cider is actually from them. It's delicious. It smells and tastes. It smells like strawberry jam, and it actually kind of tastes like liquefied strawberry jam, which is pretty good. I actually had it with peanut butter toast because peanut butter and strawberry jam. It's really good, and this is also pasteurized by Perkins Orchard. They also have fun little jars of jam. They have pickled eggs. I saw candied onions, I think. I didn't grab those because those jars are so big and I was afraid I wouldn't like them, but I love their produce. They have bags for $20. You can just have a bag and shop their stand, fill it up, it's $20, and they'll also give you, they often pair a special. So that week it was pineapple. So for every bag of fruit and produce you get a free pineapple. So I included Perkins Orchard in a blog post that I'll link down below of some of my favorite Durham restaurants that are Black owned. When I wrote my Durham list, I noticed that I only had I had experience with only about 2 or 3 Black owned businesses in Raleigh. So that's still an unexplored niche for me. So I looked up some popular places in Raleigh that are Black owned, and I did a Jamaican week. So I've had Jamaican food before, but not often. You don't really see a lot of it. Even when I was in Austin, there was not a lot of options for Jamaican food, but I found 2 highly rated places in Raleigh. So the first Raleigh Jamaican place I went to was Mum's Jamaican, and it was so good. I was really excited to see ackee on the menu. I have first heard about ackee. So my best friend married a Jamaican man, and she's been telling me about ackee since she's been with him, and she's been with him a very long time. And I haven't had a chance to actually see ackee out in my world, so I was so excited. So for those of you who don't know, ackee is a fruit, and it's often cooked with salted cod, and traditionally in Jamaican cuisine. And that's how Mom's Jamaican served it. And it has a consistency of maybe kind of like creamy scrambled eggs. And it's so good. You don't realize that you're eating a fruit when you're eating it. It pairs so well with white rice, which is how I ate it and how it was sold. And I definitely recommend it. And then we also tried the jerk chicken. That was really good. And the mac and cheese was amazing too. And then the second place we went to, I went with my friend Jeff, and neither of us had been to Lee's Kitchen before, and that was the other highly rated Jamaican restaurant, Black owned in Raleigh. So we picked up takeout, and then we drove back home to our respective homes, and then had a date, a Zoom date. So
we are at Lee's Kitchen's parking lot, and there's Jennifer. They're gonna join me for a Zoom call in a little bit. Are you excited, guys?
Oh yeah, 100%.
They just ate, and they're still gonna eat. So these are my kind of people. All right,
Don't
see you
tell
guys.
them that.
See you guys.
Okay, so I ordered plantains, mixed vegetables. This is gonna sound like a whole entire week's worth of food, but sweet potatoes, collards, mac and cheese, and cornbread, and it looks good. So I'm curious to see how good it is. I'll aim this down so you can kind of see it. Maybe it's a better shot for you.
Ooh.
My camera's kind of like.
So we have a few things in common
Okay.
that we can try together. We
All right.
have collard greens, mac
Okay.
and cheese, plantains, and then do you have the cabbage?
It said mixed vegetables, but it looks like
Oh, yeah.
cabbage.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we're good.
So we can start with that.
All right, here goes.
Which one are you going to try first?
Cabbage.
Oh, cabbage? Okay.
Yep.
This is my first
Zoom meal date. I like it.
It's not bad. It's not bad. When I eat cabbage, normally I like it a little more sweet, which is kind of weird to most people, but this is not bad at all.
I think cabbage is already kind of sweet. Is it not, like, inherently?
It is a little bit. But I mean, like, I put secret stuff in it. And also like a little smoky flavor with it. So I probably would have put like liquid smoke or something in it. But this is good.
This is a good time to tell people that you are a vegetarian. Tell me.
That is right.
Tell us why you chose to be a vegetarian.
Well, for me, it started several years back. And it initially started as just like trying meatless Mondays with my wife. But this kind of converted into something that was more permanent for me. Part of it was giving it a shot, just trying to eat dishes on Mondays because I just was like, hey, it can't hurt anything to eat a couple extra vegetables on a Monday. And then it was like, hey, well, I've been having this underlying issue with like acid reflux, and it was driving me up the wall. Like I'd wake up in the middle of the night, I did feel like I'm about to die, and it was just uncomfortable. And I was like, well, I don't know what's causing it, so I'm just going to start ruling things out. So at first, I initially started with pork. I was like, let's just cut out pork. I love pork, I love bacon, but I don't necessarily need it, and I don't miss it when I don't eat it. So I was like, I'll try this. Didn't really do much. So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. You would think, it's something. I know it's something I'm eating, that's for sure. So with the whole Meatless Monday thing, I was like, let me just try this on a Tuesday and then on a Wednesday and a Thursday, see how it goes. And lo and behold, within, I'd say maybe 3 months, all of the symptoms went away for the most part. So I was like, okay, so it had to be something I was eating, and it had to be some type of meat. I don't know which meat. It could have been chicken, steak, anything. So I was like, well, to be safe, I'll just stop eating it all. And then from there, I just kind of went with it. And then eventually it turned into like, all right, well, let me just try this vegetarian thing. And then before long, I was like, I'm not quite vegan, but I don't eat as much dairy as I did before. So that's pretty much what started it. And ever since, it's been like, I don't really miss it.
So it's not a political life change. It was a health life change mostly that spurred it. Yeah, and then it ended up being like also productive in terms of, spending your dollar where there's more, it helps climate change.
It does. And a part of it was, well, I guess I could say the latter part of it was more political because at first I was like, I'm not really too concerned about like the animals and all that stuff and what's happening. But the more I thought about it, I was like, okay, it's helping climate change. And also these animals are not being, I guess one more person that isn't like saying, hey, we need to start change. So that was kind of what prompted it. Like more, or that was the second part of why I started to be more comfortable doing it. So, yeah.
I think that's amazing. Well, speaking of dairy, should we do mac and cheese next?
Yes, please.
Mac and cheese.
I mean, this with a spoon. I don't know if you eat with a spoon, but
I have only a fork with me. Cheers.
Yeah. It's good. That is good.
It's very comforting and creamy.
Oh, man.
I love mac and cheese, but it's really easy to screw it up.
It is. Mm-hmm.
You can have dry, crumbly mac and cheese, which is no fun.
I don't know how people do that. How do you start mac and cheese knowing you have to put cheese and milk and egg in it, and then it ends up being like you need water? It's like a biscuit. Mm-hmm. Like how you eat a biscuit, like a bad biscuit. You're like, I need something with this because I'm gonna die. It's kind of like I've seen it and I've tasted it. So this is a step up. This is really good.
I love it. I can eat a whole bucket of this. So next up, what do you think we should try? The collard or the plantains?
I say collards.
Okay, let's do it. I cheated and I tested it as I was plating.
What do you think?
I loved it.
Oh man, what's in that?
Let's see if you can.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. It tastes like there has to be some type of like ham hock or something in it. I'm serious.
I know. Did I poison you?
No, but can you taste that though?
I can, but I'm nervous for you. Did I like steer you wrong?
No, I mean it's okay. I'm not sure, so it may not be.
It could be veggie stock.
Nah. Nah.
Yeah.
No, I've been cooking with veggie stock for years now. This does not taste like veggie stock.
I do love it. I apologize if I inadvertently encouraged you to get hand-hacked collard greens. You don't see any pieces of ham, so that's
nothing.
That's a little promising.
I can't figure out if it's not that, what's in this is making it taste this way, because this is good. Like, this is really good.
It's so good.
Those are gone on my plate, by the way.
I love it. So you know what I found interesting about the plantains is that the seasoning of it, it's so dark with it looks like the jerk seasoning.
It does. And it has a hint of cinnamon in it too.
And you can't, it almost looks like the chicken wings that we also got, like that I got.
When they started putting it in the tray, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, I said plantains.
You can see the inside of it once you cut into it, that it's indeed a plantain.
Yeah, it does look like, you're right. It looks really good though. Let's try it.
I didn't wait for you and I already ate.
Oh, you were way ahead of the game. Okay.
It's in my mouth. I like it.
Got a little twang to it.
I love the texture. Sometimes plantains feels too mushy to me for my personal taste, but this is perfect. It has the right amount of bite for me.
I love this. I love the taste of like that hint of cinnamon in it. It does it for me. Like, I don't know if it's like, what else do you think they put in? Is nutmeg or something? Maybe?
I'm not sure. I do have a little bit of nutmeg and cinnamon. Is that your background music?
Oh my goodness. Sorry. I think it's, one second. It's my wife.
Oh.
Dear God. You still hear that?
Nope.
Is it still super loud?
No, it's not loud at all.
Okay. I think we're not going to judge her, but I'm kind of going to judge her. She's watching like choreographed like boy bands. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. That's what she's watching right now. No
I love
shame.
It. I love
loud.
it. No judgment at all.
At all.
I'm going to take another bite of plantains. Oh.
I'm way ahead of you. I could eat this. I like this. This is good.
I love it with, I would love like a side of like, I should have gotten some rice. I love being Asian. I love anything with sauce and seasonings with like a plain rice.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And being married to a Korean, I have learned to cook that kind of thing or that kind of dish a lot. So I always have a side of white rice, but the sauce is what makes it, you know, it's like the white rice is just like a filler, but the sauce, if you can get a good sauce down when you're cooking and you just layer it over white rice, it's
totally agree. It almost makes like a second meal of leftovers of just sauce and your rice.
Yep. And some people don't understand it. I'm like, look, man, you could literally just go with rice and like have 5 different sauces and you have 5 different meals just like that.
My theory, I've never done research, but the reason why I think a lot of Asians do that, it was culinary speaking, a lot of third world countries needed to stretch out their food. And so it's like the peasant way of stretching out a meal. It's like you flavor your rice with the sauce.
Exactly. And then you can just keep eating that over and over and over again. And over and over and over again. But it's worth it though, because salt, like to me, like even when I'm cooking in the kitchen now, I'm like, even if I'm making tofu, for example, it's like the sauce. It is all about the sauce. If the sauce is not there, if you're missing like one, like you can have a almost perfect sauce, you're missing like orange peels or something. Just something. It's like the smallest thing could take this sauce from like a 5 to like 100 on a scale.
Yes, totally agree.
Totally agree. Sauce boss. I love it. I love it.
So what else do you have on your plate? Because I think we've ran through our comparisons. You have nothing left?
No, I'm just kidding. I have candy yams and I have sweet potato. I mean, it's sweet potato. Cornbread.
Okay. I have oxtail and chicken wing.
Oh, those are close.
What are you gonna eat next?
Probably these yams.
All right, I'm gonna go for oxtail. I'm gonna try to eat like a lady and like cut it.
No, just pick it up with your hand.
All right, I'm gonna do it. I have a napkin ready.
Yes.
Have you had oxtail as in your prior life?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want people to think that I'm like just. I mean, some people do this, but I'm not like just sneaking it on the side. I'm just saying I remember what they taste like.
Yeah.
And they were awesome. So
you close your eyes when you say it. You're like yeah, I remember it. This is so good.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. These yams, they kind of remind me. They kind of remind me of oxtails.
Do they really? Is it because I mentally? Oh, I'm sorry, but I think I win. I think I win with the oxtail versus yams.
I think you do.
I think it's kind of rude of me. So originally, Jeff and I were going to go to a vegan restaurant, which is why I chose Jeff to be my partner. But then I realized it was so far from where he's driving, and so I wanted to feature Black-owned restaurants. So then I picked another restaurant that was on my list and completely forgot that Jeff is a vegetarian.
It's okay. It's okay.
So now I'm eating delicious oxtail as he's eating yams.
They're also delicious. They taste like yams. And the thing I like about these, if you haven't tried them, they're candy. So like they have the cinnamon in them. It tastes like they have brown sugar, butter. I mean, it's a yam, of course, but they had on the menu sweet potatoes, and then they had candy yams. So
I was going to say, what's the difference between
I think one is just, they probably just don't put anything in it. I mean, I would think for like the regular yams, they just maybe have butter, if anything. But these taste more of like a dessert.
Mm.
Yeah. And most of the time when I eat sweet potatoes, unless it has this, it doesn't really taste like a dessert, but it is, it has some sweetness to it. But this is like, it tastes like you're eating mushed candy.
Like Thanksgiving?
Exactly. That's exactly what, when you eat this with cornbread and like college, you're like, oh, this is a Thanksgiving meal.
Except it's like July or June.
Exactly. I was just talking about that today. I was like, what if I just started like playing Christmas music now?
I feel like with the state of the world right now, it sounds like a smart idea.
Yeah, seriously, man.
Actually, New York Times had like a compilation of writers talk about like how they're finding moments of joy during this crazy time. This is like way before the riots and protests. It was just coronavirus. But one of the writers talked about how he has his Christmas tree up still. And he said that before the world was like in turmoil, having a Christmas tree up in March was considered crazy. But now that because the world feels like it's in pain, people think it's genius to have a Christmas tree up.
Hey, like when you see it during Christmas time, and it's like just like the perfect weather, you're home, you're cozy, and you see that, it puts you in a good mood. So it's like, I'm coming home. Well, I'm working from home, but like, let's say I was coming home from work. It's been a long, stressful day. Got to go through hell to get through traffic. And then you come in the house, and mind you, it's like May, and you see like this big ass Christmas tree just sitting there, and it looks beautiful. You're like, you know what? After a long day at work, this is what I want to come home to. Playing some jingle bells. I mean, it drives you crazy during the Christmas season, but you never hear it now this time, so it's perfect. So
that's what he said. He was like, he started actually to get comments from passerbys that see his lit Christmas tree in the window, and they're like, "Oh, thank you for that moment."
Yeah, seriously, like it's perfect. I mean, it makes sense to me. I mean, and now especially with like everything going on, I feel like it's like the perfect time to kind of like reflect and also like try to find ways for people to band together to make change. Like to me, like that's been like the theme of what's been going on. Like I don't know why I have this on my phone, but it was something from Yahoo News saying, why now is the nation standing up to like revolt against this and make a stand when all the other deaths they haven't? But it's like, you got to think about it. People have already been fed up for hundreds of years because of this exact issue, racism. And now they're like, why? It almost sounds as if they're like confused as to why it's happening now. That's because people are tired. Like people are fed up, and it's not just blacks; it's everyone. There's a lot of people outside of blacks that are like, I want change. Like you can't say now at this point in time that we should still be fighting. Like we shouldn't be having race wars is what I'm trying to say. Like it shouldn't be I mean, of all the stuff we've been through, people, like there's some people out there who still think it's absolutely okay to call someone out of their name, like out of context. And like, to me, that's just puzzling. Like, and I'm going to make here's an example for you.
Okay.
And this is a very nerdy example. So all the gamers out here will understand this. They will understand this. So this is a gamer nerd reference, but it has a good point in it. So when I was like, I used to play Call of Duty. Like I've been playing it for years, right? So I was playing this when I was, I don't know, in middle school, high school. And those lobbies were some of the most like toxic lobbies or environments I've ever been in and I'm looking back at this now, like, wow, it was actually very terrible. Being like a 14-year-old, sitting in the lobby after a game, we played games. That's all we did after school. We went outside, we played games, we were good at them. And there would be people in those lobbies who were like openly racist. I mean, like to the extremes where like you couldn't even say anything without them saying, like to me, for example, the N-word, like after every single word I'd said, I could be trying to defend I could be trying to defend myself in like a match we had or something. They just cut you off the N-word, N-word, send you messages on Xbox, just calling you names and stuff like that. And like, before we would just argue back. We'd be like, look, man, you can say what you want, but you could be a racist, blah, 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 blah. But now I'm looking back and I'm like, we laughed at that. Like that was like a norm. And it was going unheard because like only people who played those type of games would hear these people. And I'm like, there are people out there now who still do that. I've heard, I'm 30 now. And I just heard that in a lobby, maybe like, I don't know, a month or two ago. And it was a grown man. Like, I don't understand why I can't say that. I'm like, what do you mean? So I'm like, there's clearly a problem. And I feel like this is the kind of thing that we need, aside from like and a part of me understands why people are like rioting and breaking out businesses and stuff like that. And a part of me doesn't. Part of me really doesn't. Like, if I'm going to be honest with myself, I don't understand the part of why destroy the places that we call like, I don't know, part of our home. Like, why break that down? But I get the message that they're trying to convey as well. So I can also understand why it's happening. And I just think that kind of thing needed to happen for like people to get like a fire lit in their asses to start saying, hey man, we need to come together. Like, I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, like Asian, like I don't care. Like this is a bigger matter than just that. And I don't know. I don't mean to like go into all this.
No, that's why full transparency, before we got on this call, I did tell you, I was like, hey, I'm not expecting you to address what's going on in the country right now, but if you want to, this is a safe place for you and you can definitely do it. I didn't want to push you one way or the other. But I totally agree with you that it has been going on for way too long and we've just been quiet about it. And I'm really sorry that like, this is your life, like all the time, like you playing video games at 14 years old and having grown people call you the N-word over and over again. Like it's sad. It's everywhere. So people are tired. I think everything is just coming to a boiling point again. It's just going to keep coming to a boiling point until we reckon and change. Exactly. And like even Asian Americans, like I went on a press trip in January with another Asian American writer, and she was very vocal about the dangers of the model minority myth. And I've heard that term before, and I was just, in my bubble, and I wasn't uncomfortable enough to do more reading. And then this protest has opened up my eyes and own more of my own actions. Silence is complicity, like it's, and so it's funny because I understand why Asian Americans are quiet because we were conditioned that way by both our own culture and also by white culture. And they've rewarded us for silence, to look the other way. And so it was funny because after I saw you in the parking lot and we were on the way home, I had like a 40-minute drive. I called my mom and it immediately came up. And it was like a topic that I can finally talk to my mom about. She was talking about, we have benefited from the protection of cops as store owners in Houston. And she was just mentioning one of our cop friends. And I said, I hope I'm not hurting his feelings. I mean, I can definitely considered his feelings when I'm posting on Facebook, but I hope he knows that I still like love him. I just am not okay with this systemic. And she immediately told me what she's always told me, like, just be quiet. Just don't talk about it. And that was like my chance to be like, no, Mom, like this is part of why we're here. It's just because we have been quiet. And it wasn't very comfortable for me to have that conversation, but it's just like another way we can show up. It's like in our own lives. Like it's rooted. It's not just what we see on TV and in the news. It's not just that. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. I know that another thing I don't want to do and don't want to encourage people is to not ask our Black friends to teach us to be better. So like they're tired. And thank you for taking the initiative to share anyway, because we can learn a lot from each other. And I love you so much. I just love you. Like every time I see you, like we have a great time.
Love you too.
What's the last thing you have on your plate? Let's just
cornbread.
Switch back. Cornbread.
Yeah.
As you eat your cornbread, I'm going to eat my chicken.
So I broke it in half. It was a big piece, but it's like, I can show you this. And my lighting is so like crazy. I don't know why my camera looks like this, by the way, because there's no light coming into the windows at all. I don't have no clue where this light's coming from. Like if you can see the room right now, it's very like dim. It's dark. So I'm just puzzled. Maybe it's the computer screen, which maybe I can fix that.
Look at that.
It looks a lot darker, but yeah,
less glare on your glasses. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the cornbread, and I know if you can see that up close, but like it's thick. It looks like it's like soaked in butter. I'm not gonna lie to you. And it was like stuck to the paper when I was peeling it. So I wish you could have saw that. Like it's like that perfect like texture, and it's super soft. So good luck. What is that? A plantain?
This looks like a plantain, but it's a chicken wing.
Oh man, you were not lying. Wow. I thought you were eating another. I was like, you must really like those plantains. I'm gonna eat this.
Mine's spicy.
This is spicy too.
Really? Spicy cornbread?
No, but I've had it and it's good. This is really, really sweet. It's really sweet. It's crumbly.
Ooh.
It's moist. You don't need water. Yeah, you don't need water when you eat it, which is a blessing.
That's awesome.
Have you had cornbread where you're like, it's like a biscuit?
It's like you're eating like a cracker and you just need like water to like melt. This is really peppery.
So what kind of spice is it? The pepper causing the spice?
It's jerk seasoning. So good.
Is it tender? It's dry.
Super tender and juicy. I wish I could corrupt you with a piece of chicken, but I respect you too much.
You know, I tried that once, by the way. Like when I was like going on the path of vegetarianism, there was like she actually made jerk chicken, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this because it looks so good and it smells good, and I devoured it. Like it was so bad, and I got so sick. Like it was brief, but it hit me so bad. I was like, this is the worst thing. And after that, I had to stop. I was like, I can't cheat now. Like I just can't do it. I tried to do it and it didn't work out, but it was good. It was good while I was eating it. Don't get me wrong.
It just, you had to pay for it later.
Oh my goodness. Later. No, it was like almost immediate. Yeah. Like it hit me like within like 5 minutes. I was like, okay, nope, can't do this. And I haven't done it since.
Well, I'm glad that you, so what's your take on Lee's? Is it Lee's Jamaican? I know it's Lee's.
It was Lee's Kitchen.
Lee's Kitchen. What's your take?
Would
you go there again?
I would, but I don't know if I would go as often as maybe like a person who ate like meat, because I think that's like the main part of going. You go to get the oxtails, you go to get the jerk chicken, the curry chicken. If they had like a curry vegetable or something, I would probably show up a lot more. The best thing that I had on this plate was probably the mac and cheese, I'll be honest.
Yes.
The mac and cheese, that with those collards, oh my goodness, like that
even just together,
yes, it's amazing. So
I love it.
If it was just that, I probably wouldn't go back that much because, of course, I don't eat a lot of I don't eat a lot of cheese. But if they had something else, they added something to the menu, then I'd definitely go back. And I would go back. I just wouldn't be a regular, probably.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely delicious food, though.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
Will you tell everybody how they can find you and follow your work?
Yes, if you want to check out some of my videos, I do a lot of like recipes. Sometimes they're inspired from other things. Sometimes they're made up on the spot. My YouTube is Foodie Hideout. You don't have to put anything in between, no dots, no apostrophes, just Foodie Hideout. It's a new channel, so I'm still growing a little bit, but yeah, share it.
Awesome.
Don't come by, say hello. Come check out the Instagram. I'm there.
Where's your Instagram?
Foodie.hideout.
So foodie.hideout on Instagram, and then Foodie Hideout without the dot on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
No problem.
Can't wait to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. Take care. Bye.
So that's it for Try Something New Tuesday, and I'm so happy that you're here with me. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I encourage you to try something new as often as you can, but now also to think about what Black-owned businesses you can support while you're out there exploring and trying new things. I'll see you next week.